Okay, cool. So let's move on. The first thing we're going to do here is we want to ask you, what makes a good camper? Doesn't have to be super long. We're not looking for an essay here. No. I mean, you can make it super long if you want. What makes a good camper? Deep participation, contribution. Somebody was looking at the answer key. Energy, human, stay for breakdown. You can put that on there. Go on, put it on there. Put it on there.
I'm still trying to find a Zoom link.
You don't need to be on Zoom for this. You can actually, if you didn't get on with the QR code, you can just go to this URL right at the top here. slides.com/KKBM22. Just this website, Jim. See the website at the top? Just go there. You don't need to be on Zoom for this. Okay. But no one's telling you you can't. You can be on Zoom if you want. Okay, cool. So we're just going to keep this. We're going to refer back to this a little bit later. For now, we're going to switch over to the main presentation, and you guys can fill this out at your leisure. Okay. So welcome, everybody, to General Meeting number 2. Kostume Kult, Burning Man 22. Hit that button. There we go. Okay, cool. So this is where we're at right now. There are 221 people who have filled out the interested camper form. We are probably looking at about 150 of you will probably be campers with us. There is a long road that is going to take us to Burning Man. This is actually not all that different of a ratio than we had for Love Burn, actually. And we're going to talk a little bit about how we select campers and what camp is like and what's expected. Remember, interested camper form does not mean that you're camping, doesn't mean that you're committing to camp with us. It just means that you're interested. So if you are interested and you haven't filled that out, or if you have a friend that is interested in potentially maybe going to Burning Man, this is the last. We're going to close this form up very soon. So please get them to fill out the form. It just puts everybody on our radar, so we know to reach out to them, to keep them in touch, keep in contact with them, include them in our potential plans. And then you will decide, and we will work with you to decide who will end up being our ultimate camp list, which we're targeting about 150.
Yeah. Also, if we talk to you every day, if you are a seasoned KKer, if you are not on the interested camper form, you do not exist. Okay, because we don't know if you are interested in camping with KK. We just don't know. So people have a lot of different options. We just need to know that this is what you want to do so we can keep in touch with you. So even if you've camped with us 10 times, you still need to fill out the form.
I will put a point on this. Jim filled out the interested camper form. So if number 1 filled it out, no one has an excuse not to. Mars? The Zoom link's not on Facebook. If you want to put it on Facebook, I appreciate it. It's just, that's not the Zoom link. The Zoom link is in the email that was sent out to all the interested campers. Okay, cool. So today we're going to talk to you about the very important topic of tickets, the very important topic of what our calendar up to the burn looks like, the very important topic of how camp works, so frequently asked questions, and we're going to tell you most of our time is going to be spent on teams, which is what we're really hoping to get out of this to allow you to figure out where you fit in. Sorry, I have the microphone, so if you ever want to just
I the second one.
If we did have 2, right? Okay, so I will cover tickets first. So first of all, if you are in the potential to get a low-income Burning Man ticket, then tonight, absolutely tonight, you should make sure that you get your registration in, because the registration period started yesterday and will be going till, I believe, noon tomorrow, I think. So if you think you might qualify, and if you don't know if you qualify, go on to the Burning Man website and look that up. It's obviously a discounted ticket. Make sure you get in on that. What I want to talk to you about, though, where most of us qualify, is in main sale tickets. Now, I'm sure you're asking, well, wait a minute, we know that we have this direct group sales or steward sale or this other ticket sale thing happened before this. And the good news is that Kostume Kult secured literally every possible ticket we could have from the org. So we have a supply of tickets to be able to help our campers with getting tickets, but they're not enough. In order to have the camp size, the 150 that we want, and the campers that we want to bring, we need everyone in this room to think about the main sale. And we're done. Is that mic drop right there? Okay. Okay. All right. So there are two important dates. So somebody thinks that we got the dates wrong, which we may have. So we're going to double check that. Because that's important. Okay. But there are two steps, at least. We know that for certain. Two steps. Step one is registration, which means that you go on and you create an account, a burner profile. That burner profile will qualify you to buy a ticket. If you don't register, you can't buy a ticket. We need every single person that even thinks they might want to go maybe to register. Okay. And then the second thing is that when the main sale happens, we're going to tell you about how that works. Now, the experienced burners will be like, I know this, I've got this, but here's the deal. That's a new, as far as I understand it, it's a new ticketing system this year. So like, I don't actually know exactly how it's going to work. But we can pretty much be sure that it's going to at least be just like previous years, where it's going to sell out.
No, and it will fuck up. But
and it will fuck up. Yes. So what you're going to do is on the main sale date, you are going to buy. You are going to go on there and you're going to wait in line. And you're going to try to do that with two different devices if you can, your phone and your computer, with your burner profile that you already created before the sale date, because you can't do it the same day. And you are going to try to get in there the instant that the Burning Man tickets go on sale.
Just to make it super clear, this is literally the most difficult ticket to get in the world. Okay. So imagine trying to go and get a ticket to the biggest concert you've ever been to in your life, and you are waiting in advance, like 30 minutes, and stressfully like looking at the mouse to click it. That is what we need you to do. We need you to be prepared and imagine, because it is the hardest ticket to get in the world.
She's just in the dark. Okay. So
Okay.
yes, be ready before it goes on sale. So you're like, okay, I've got a work meeting. Block out your calendar. Actually, literally block out your calendar. Okay, you're in a work meeting. You can't get out of it. Be in the meeting, still be on the website before the meeting starts, get ready. Like, there's no second chances on this.
So also, I just want to point out, these dates are incorrect, and I'm going to tell you why, but we were very close, and we're going to correct this. We're going to correct this for everyone going forward. Okay. So the registration period is the 23rd to the 25th. Okay. That's the registration period where you need to register your burner profile.
What's the 30th?
The ticket date, the live purchase ticket date is March 30th.
Yes.
Okay.
There we go.
All right.
Okay.
We just corrected.
It was right. See, look, I prove it. It's on video. Also, another thing, they accept Visa and MasterCard. They don't accept American Express. So if you finally get in and you can buy a ticket and you then can't get your ticket because you have an Amex card, we warned you.
Yeah.
Or you actually are probably going to call your friend up or your mom up frantically and be like, please, 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 I need your card. Okay, so as far as the tickets go, so the thing is, if you don't get a mail sale ticket, don't freak out. The thing is, we try as a camp to get as many possible tickets because there's no chance you can't sell your Burning Man ticket. This year especially, every year especially, but this year especially. So if you get the tickets, if you don't get the tickets, then we will try to help you as much as we can get a ticket. And that is going to be a service that we provide for our campers. That doesn't mean that we can guarantee that we're going to get everybody a ticket that can. And we're going to try to be as transparent with you as we can in the interest of the camp, and say that this year is a different year than normal. Normally, what we say is that if you really want to go to Burning Man, you will find a ticket. We say that has been true every year that we've ever gone. This year is a little bit different. We know that the demand is really high, and honestly, we don't know. I can't advise you because we've never seen anything like this. the sale for tickets that are what, $2,500 a piece, the
FOMO.
FOMO sale sold out in 15 minutes. That's never happened before.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to scare anyone and say that. It may be just like every other year. We're going to track it very closely. We're going to go to every resource that we can. We're going to talk to everyone in our network. We're going to try. We have already secured as many tickets as we can for camp. We will try to secure more tickets. We need you to do this. This is all you need to do.
Can I say something for 20 seconds?
So I've been through half a dozen of these, getting tickets like this. The FOMO tickets, which are for people who really, really want to go to Burning Man and have money, which are $1,500 to $2,500. Those usually are sold out in a week or two, maybe 3, sometimes it's a month. This year, they sold out in 15 minutes, which never, ever, ever happens. What that means is that everybody in every camp who has any sort of pull with anybody is going to be calling in every favor. That includes us, that includes Jim, that includes everybody here, camp leadership, to try and get tickets this year, but it's across the country. So what the only way to counter that is pure raw numbers, and that's everybody being on that sale, doing what they can do, having 2 computers or a computer and a phone, whatever, and making it happen. That's the only way in hell we're going to get enough tickets this year. To buy a
Live
two,
chat for that.
and buy 2 tickets.
Live chat.
Vehicle pass?
To buy 2 tickets.
Okay.
Kind of subjective. You'll get rid. If you buy a vehicle pass, you will get rid of it. There will be no extra tickets this year, be it vehicle passes or otherwise. But it's safety in numbers is the only way this is going to happen this year for this camp and getting enough tickets. So that's pretty much it.
Even if you are not 100% sure that you are going, this is a service that you could do for your fellow KK community and friends, and just make yourself a burner profile and get in on it.
And you, is it not true that if you have a chance to buy 2 tickets, but you're actually only buying 1, or you have any issue with not being able to afford to, the camp will help? We
can talk about that.
But you get on the site, you buy 2, you actually have that ticket.
If you have the means, certainly buy as many tickets as it will
Yeah.
let you, which I believe is 2 per person.
No one will be stuck with an extra ticket. That
Yeah.
absolutely guaranteed.
We will, if you buy the ticket and you decide later not to go, we will for sure help you sell it. There will not be a problem. Like, we'll find a camper for the ticket, or we will find somebody within our larger network. Like, we spend a lot of time curating and culling a network of other Burning Man camps and officials and organizers to basically be able to like deal with this. And we've had very much success with this for years. Okay, so that's all we're going to say on that, unless you guys have any other questions.
So how much would it cost on our credit card to purchase 2 tickets?
$1,000.
1,000, well, 1,100. It's a little bit more. The GGS were a little bit cheaper, but same sales, about 1,100.
About 1,100.
Yeah, that's with fees.
And
tax.
And tax, yeah.
With everything 1,100.
Okay. Any other questions about tickets? Back there.
2 questions. That registration period, is that time sensitive at all, or we can do that anytime between the 23rd and 24th?
You can do it anytime you want, but with this kind of stuff, I generally don't recommend waiting. Only because like there are people in the organization that get paid. There's also a lot of volunteers. Systems might work, they might not work. They may extend it, they may not extend it. Burning Man stuff, you can never really quite predict what's going to happen. So it's always better to be a little bit more proactive, especially for this.
You also said something about, you said like an off-the-cuff line about it's possible to resell those.
No, it is possible to resell them. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. We will help you resell them. It is impossible to not find somebody to buy your ticket. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say impossible, but like it would be historically like never has happened ever. Like never has happened.
Literally hottest ticket in the world, literally.
Yeah.
If you have a steward sale ticket, is your profile blocked?
Yes.
Your profile that you have is blocked if you bought steward sale tickets. So you would have to create a second profile, which basically just means you need a second email address. Which
So be careful with that. If you use the same credit card, you will avoid your TPS.
oh, don't use the same credit card. Okay, is that true or is that a rumor?
I'm pretty
No,
sure
it's true.
Okay, good to know. Okay, so if you are a DGS participant,
You're not
And-
supposed to do it.
if you were a DGS participant and you bought tickets from the direct group sales, and you want to try for tickets in the main sale, because again, it's a service to camp and you won't be able to not get rid of the ticket, sell the ticket, then you have to use a different credit card and a different email address. That applies to some
I would
people.
frankly even be careful with a different credit card with the same name, because it can cross-reference, like, just get a friend to make a profile.
Or different mailing address.
So the recommendation is a friend's credit card with a different name.
Ideally, different.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. What's that? The question was, so again, the question was, or it wasn't a question, it was just a statement, and I said everything over the mic.
Yeah, just in general, because they can't hear.
Understood. They can't hear them. Got it. Okay, so that's all we're going to say on tickets, unless there's any other major things, but we'll be around. And your ticket master is operating the camera right now, Joseph, and he is your resource for all ticketing related questions. Okay, so as far as camp meetings go, this is the calendar you've all been asking for. This is the calendar you've all been asking for. No, this one's going in and out. But all right, we're going to do meetings every 2 weeks, because every 1 week's too frequent. Every what?
QR code.
The QR code. Yes. Sorry. Okay. There is a Google shared calendar where we are making an effort. Where we're making an effort to put every event that we have on there, every meeting, every event, so you don't have to worry about, did you get the email, did you get the invite, anything else. So this is there. It's also in the email that you got from us, being an interested camper. Check your lists folder if you didn't get that email. It's at the bottom of every email that we send. The Slack channel, the Facebook group, everyone. It's in there, I promise you. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do a 50-50 split. 50% of them are going to be real life. 50% of them are going to be remote. And here's why.
So we want to make sure that one of the reasons that we want to do this is we wanted to make sure that people who were not local to New York still felt like they had the same opportunity to be heard and connect as us here locally. We also wanted to make sure that people who had standing commitments on one day could, at least attend a second meeting if they could not attend meetings that were, say, every 2 weeks on Mondays. So we want to make sure to just give people options, give people an equal playing field that are not local to New York. And it also just gives us more of an opportunity to connect in different ways.
There you go. Okay, so we have some other events on there, like the Burning Man sale dates, the Burning Man dates, the parties that we have, like Hornball, Black and Light Ball, Freak Show. All the things are there. Other burner related interesting events are all on there.
We have the upcoming parades coming up. Basically anything where Kostume Kult will have a presence, or where we think that you as members of the Kostume Kult community could benefit from going or checking it out. We will add anything interesting to the calendar.
Yep. So the idea of doing this here is that, so Mondays will be the real life meetings, probably here, maybe at House of X in certain cases. Tuesdays will be Zoom meetings. One of these happens every 2 weeks, basically, unless there's a holiday or some other blocking activity. So again, all those dates are on the calendar, and we'll also send out email reminders. Okay, any questions about meetings? Okay.
Can we do a Google group with calendar invites?
We have a Google group. The Google group sends out emails.
With calendar invites?
Every email that gets sent out on Google Groups has a link at the bottom that has the shared calendar on it. The Google, you have joined the Google group by filling out the interested camper form. If you didn't fill out the interested camper form, you're not on there. That's how we're, yeah.
Can we please create a calendar invite?
We can add it to all the things, yes. I don't know that it works, but we can try.
Can you post links for the QR codes if those didn't work during the presentation?
Absolutely. Yes, we can post them on the Facebook group. But again, also it's in every email that we send out. It's at the bottom, it's in the footer. Yeah, all these are in all of them. Okay.
Also, if you do not see emails from KK, be aware that it might be going to your promotions folder. I know that happens sometime in Gmail. So just keep an eye out. If you haven't seen any emails from us, please look in your promotions folder. They're probably there.
Okay, so we're going to switch over how camp works. I'm going to take it first.
All right, well, this camp is basically made by every single person in this room. So how our camp works, this is your camp. This is equally ours as every single person here. So it's a collective experience on what we are creating. And ultimately what we're going to start today is going to dictate how we continue going forward, what kinds of things we create, what kind of teams we build, and how we want to proceed with Burning Man going forward. So this is our camp. This is your camp. This is all of our camp. All right, so we are an Esplanade camp. If you are an inexperienced burner, this is your first time. Esplanade is kind of like, think of like the main street, the Broadway. Like Esplanade is where all of the action is. And being an Esplanade camp is a responsibility and a privilege that is afforded to really strong pillars of the burner community. So we have an incredible gift that we have been giving to Burning Man for many, many years. And our camp is known all around the world, all around the country, and we are known and loved far and wide. So it is our responsibility and privilege to be on Esplanade. And that involves a couple of different things.
So it involves the fact that like what we bring from a gift standpoint is loved within the community, and we do it really well. And we keep bringing it every year. That is kind of like the minimum viable. They expect that from us. The other thing that they expect from us being there is that we come with an awesome frontage, which I have no doubt that will happen with Tanya. And the wonderful team that rallies around Tanya for all the things she does.
Basically the idea is that Esplanade camps go big, right? When you're walking down Esplanade, you are wowed. You are seeing some incredible things. You are seeing camps that have put a ton of work and a ton of love into what they're bringing to the Playa. It is a go big or go home kind of attitude.
Yeah, so here's the deal. You can go to Burning Man and you can have a great time, and you don't need to be in an Esplanade camp. An Esplanade camp is like, I really want to go to Burning Man. Like, I want to do it big. I want to be in the center of it. I want to know all the things. I want to understand the principles. I want to have an acculturation team and all the things. And we take pride in that. And it's perfectly fine to like burn either way. But this is our identity. And you'll see that at Love Burn, I mentioned this at the last meeting, we said, we don't care really what you build, just build community and something will come out of it. But the people that tend to rally around this camp tend to really want to do things big, tend to really want to go to 11 on things. If that's you, then you'll fit in really well here. If it's not you, then you just have to see how you do fit in. And again, you can burn a lot of different ways.
Another critical part of what we do is like, we embody the 10 principles in everything that we do. So as you learn more about what KK is about, how we operate as a community, you'll see that everything that we do is with the understanding that the 10 principles is our guiding star. So you'll see as we continue to go in, that's a big part of why we have the privilege of being on Esplanade.
Okay, doesn't want to work. Oh wait, did I skip one? Yes, no. You want to start this?
All right, so another important thing to note, this is a level playing field right now. So every single person in this room has equal opportunity to get to Burning Man with us, with KK. Every single person, regardless of your experience, your tenure, this is kind of like a new world right now. We haven't been to the burn for 2 years, right? We're all sort of starting fresh. And we want to make sure that everyone feels like they have an equal opportunity to participate, to show up, whether you're local, whether you're international, whether you're wherever you are. There is a way for you to get involved. There is a way to participate, and it is a level playing field no matter what.
We're making an extra effort this year, especially for the folks that have it harder. It's relatively easier when you can come to this meeting and you're here in the room and you get to meet us and you get to come to the events. For everybody who's remote, we're putting a lot of effort, as you can probably see from like the webcast thing and like an international team you're going to hear about later, and like making sure we think of every team as like which teams have remote opportunities and not remote opportunities. We're really trying to make it so we are an international camp. We have a strong contingent of campers from a number of countries, and those campers are on the Zoom right now or watching at a different time. But what you should know basically is that even if it's your first year, you're going to have a level playing field with us.
All right, and if that wasn't already made clear, we are going to drill it into your heads. Participation is our fuel. That is what the community is built upon. That is what KK is built upon. Every single thing that you see at Burning Man in burner spaces in this community and in every burner community around the country and around the world is built on volunteerism and participation. And the people that volunteer and participate are the people who dictate the level of excellence that we're going to experience. So participation is what creates all of this. None of us get paid. We all do it because we love it.
Yeah. So again, camper selection is going to be primarily driven by this. And quite frankly, it's both ways. It's because like, if you're not interested in coming to the events, if you're not getting something out of it, you're not going to want to come to the events and the crafting days and participate in things. And then you're going to self-select to say, maybe I don't want to go to Burning Man with this camp. If you are, then you definitely do. So like we said in the last meeting, Burning Man is here now. You're going to get to see exactly what we're going to be like. We don't change when we get to Burning Man. We're the same people. We're going to give you the same experience, the same respect, the same treatment when you get there.
Yeah, so sometimes like in environments like this, you see people who come in and they're like, oh, my boyfriend really wants me to go. I'm not sure. My girlfriend or my sister really wants me to go. I'm thinking about it. I don't really know much about it. Like, you really are going to need to want to do this thing, right? Like being a +1 really is going to be very difficult when this experience is all about active, passionate participation. So if you are sort of like not really sure what this is about, you're here because your friend told you to come, I encourage you to read more on it and see if it is in fact for you, because it is a very engaged, it's going to be a very engaged next 6 months.
Yeah. So, and speaking more about that +1s concept, also like if you have a partner that wants to go, and if you're sort of like feeling like you're not like your partner is not really going to the events or is not really into it, you may get it to be a camper with us and your partner might not. And we're not pairing people up that way. Everyone's treated as an individual. A tent does not, putting your tent in our space does not mean you're our camper. Being part of our community means that you're our camper. That's why we do it this way. That makes sense? Okay. So now we go back to what you guys said before. What makes, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. What makes a good camper? So you kind of gave us some answers before. If you didn't give us some answers, you can go to this link at the top, ahaslides.com/kkbm22. We do want everybody to do it because it is actually also how I know who's here at the meeting. And we actually do check that. Oh again, about participation.
Yes, participation.
So lots of participation here. Hygiene, yes. I mean, be respectful, right? Helpful. What else do you have here? Energy. Heyo. Friendly and writing to put in energy. Hugs.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of participation that got listed here. That definitely seems to be the vibe. No. Listen, for sure. Okay. So we're going to give you a couple of our thoughts on what makes a good camper. And by the way, this works both ways. This is it's not just like what you can be to do a good camper. It's like we want you to feel comfortable that the people around you are going to have these traits, right? Because you don't want to be like camping next to somebody or relying on somebody for your survival in the desert, unless you can actually trust that they're going to show up for you, right?
Yeah. So like imagine you're at a job. This happens to everybody, and you have a colleague that just sucks, right? They are no fun to be around. They're always miserable. They're always complaining. They don't want to help. They don't want to do anything. You just don't want to be around that person, right? This is not the type of person that you want to camp with. So you have to really think about, the people that you want to camp with are going to be like mirroring your energy for the next 6 months. Like this is going to be your teammate, your survival partner. This is going to be somebody that you are like about to embark on an incredible experience with. So we want to make sure that the team is really harmonious and has an attitude of how can I help?
It's not necessarily who you are right now, but who you want to be.
Say it again.
It's not necessarily who you are right now, but who you want to be.
That's a good one. Yes. So things that we think make a good camper are to empower, encourage, and recognize. We do this for fun. We want to make sure that we feel good doing it. These are things that make people feel good. We want you to think about this as you're working with people. Is there an opportunity for me to recognize somebody for something that they've done? Is there an opportunity for me to say yes and not no, well, I don't think that's going to work, you can't do it this way, but to say, yeah, I think I can figure out how to make that work. And an opportunity to encourage them. Because again, especially being an arts collective, we need that as artists and as people who really want to express. We need these things. It fuels us as people. So this is a space for positive discourse, collaboration, and respect. 2. You said this, so I'll let you.
Yeah. So, you may not have like technical skills. You may have never picked up a drill in your life. That's totally okay. The idea of this how can I help attitude is really all you need. If you are curious, if you are excited about something, if you have the desire to learn, that is all you need. You show up and you ask, how can I help? And people will be enthusiastically willing to teach you, show you things. You'll learn new skills. You will have an opportunity to grow as a person if you just ask, how can I help?
And I would add, like, the reverse side of this too is that you want the people around you to be like this. Because, like, let's say that you're struggling with something, you're trying to, your tent fell down or blew away, right? And everybody's looking at you like, that's his problem, right? That's no fun. Like, you need people to help you in this environment. So, like, that attitude needs to be pervasive in what we do. We're going to mention this a lot this year. We want to make sure that when we're doing things as a camp, we selected to do this as a camp together, and therefore we're going to make it happen together. And we need, if you see a camper that's like struggling to figure out the power, it's like, oh, the frontage went off. I don't know, like, that's not my thing. I don't know what to do there. You can still ask the person who's doing it, hey, how can I help you? That person's really going to appreciate it, and it's going to make them feel like that you're in it with them. Even if they say, I'm good, you don't have the background information, it's fine, I can't need the help right now. This is critical for this year.
Yeah, and keep in mind, like, we are in a very harsh environment. Like, there's strong winds, there's hot sun, there's a lot of things that we're not used to here. And like, shit happens. A couple of years ago, our entire kitchen blew away in a giant windstorm, and every single person had to help, right? People who didn't know how to build had to help. People who weren't a part of the kitchen team, every single person helped. And that was the only way that we were able to get it together. So the how can I help attitude is a factor of, a personal factor, but also an environmental factor. There's a lot of harsh elements out there, and we all need to work together for our own survival.
Being involved, this is participation. But when I say being involved, breaking that out a little bit, being involved is not just taking a shift on Playa. It's not just saying like, oh, I'll do shifts in the costume tent, or I'll definitely come to build. We said this, Burning Man starts now. It takes all of us to put this camp together before we get there. If we weren't together, we wouldn't have a frontage. We wouldn't have costumes to hand out. We wouldn't have an infrastructure. We wouldn't have a layout for the camp. We wouldn't have pods picked out. You can't just show up to two of these things. You've got to actually be there for everything. So being involved means just showing up. And when I say participation is how the camp list is going to get selected, it's because those are the folks that show up are the ones who are building the camp, and therefore they're the ones who deserve to be in the camp. And you know that everybody around you will have done the same thing as a collective. So prep is what we're doing now. Listening to these meetings, figuring out what our philosophies are, talking to each other, ideating, figuring out what we want to do. We're going to talk about teams for the second half of the meeting. Build is going to be at the Burn, is going to be putting together the build week. If you can make it for build week, we definitely want you to, and it's honestly the best part. Burn, we know that's taking shifts. We actually have a relatively low shift number compared to other camps because we have a great economies of scale. To be honest, we would really like to, as much as possible, enjoy our Burn So you can certainly take on more shifts if you want, but we actually have a very modest number of shifts for any camp of our type. And then breakdown is really critical because it's really making sure that we leave the space as we found it. That's the leave no trace.
And just a quick note on breakdown. Breakdown actually dictates our standing for years to come. So if we are not responsible with the leave no trace philosophy, they may not let us be in Esplanade camp again, right? It dictates our reputation within the community. It is critical that our breakdown is seamless and totally appropriate with leave no trace.
Yeah.
Yes, Jim?
Just
one note on breakdown. People are probably already buying their tickets about when they think they're leaving Reno. Please don't leave Reno before Wednesday. And please don't think when you're burned out at the end of the week, that Grand Sierra pool party looks good. Punch it out. The extra 6 hours on breakdown, we will absolutely remember who killed it and who snuck away. And if you're thinking, oh, I have to be, back by Monday night, you're not helping with breakdown. So really, think about Wednesday or Thursday. Stay a day or a night or two in Reno. It's so much better just to chill there rather than coming back to the grind of New York. That is a big thought when you're planning your travel. Yes.
Same price, yeah. Speaking of price, one of your questions is probably what does it cost to go to Burning Man? Well, you know what the tickets are because Burning Man publishes them. What does it cost to be a part of camp? There is cost sharing that we do. We are not for profit. We do put everything that we get back into the camp. Those things that we put back into the camp are things like water. So we provide water that in a water buffalo that you can effectively fill your water containers or your camelbacks or whatever you need. Food, we provide 3 meals a day for build and 1 meal a day for burn. And occasionally breakfast, yes. So what does that mean? And you're like, well, 1 meal a day. I eat three times a day normally. But honestly, though, you don't want to eat as much when you're out there. It's actually you're just like not as hungry typically, and the dinner's really big.
Yeah, and just a quick note on the food. Our kitchen is legit. Like a lot of camps will have burgers and hot dogs and like super basic stuff. We have shrimp pad thai and filet mignon and salmon, and we have amazing food because our kitchen team puts a lot of work and a lot of love into what they do, and we recognize that we need to sustain each other, right? Food is how we survive, and our food is love, food is life, food is the love language, and it is very important that everybody feels taken care of, dietary restrictions included.
Yeah, we the only other thing I'll say about food is it is, by the way, our largest single line item in terms to what we spend camp dues on. It is a very high priority for us to eat good while we're out there because your food is your fuel, so we want to make that good and bring everybody together. Quite frankly, electricity. So we provide electricity for you in your tents. We have a big generator. We have center and pod shade structures. So shade structures basically make it so that it doesn't get particularly hot in your tent in the day. I mean, it still gets hot, but it doesn't get as hot as if you weren't covered up under shade. And it obviously gives you a place to hang out that's cooler than being out in the sun. You need that actually. Frontage, what we bring as far as like what we build, this will get put back into that. And then infrastructure, we provide bathrooms, showers, not like regular showers the way you would think of showers, but like showers as in like stalls, and an evap pond. Evap pond means that you can't just dump your dirty water onto Playa. That's part of the MOOP principle. It needs to get evaporated. So there's a structure for that, which we will explain in a future meeting. Other things you should be thinking. So for this, we're looking at $500 or more. We don't exactly know this year. And the reason why we don't know exactly this year is because we haven't figured out all the vendor situations yet. The org is still working on the vendors. Once they figure out the vendors, we know how much these things cost. Once we know how much these things cost, we can tell you what the camp sharing is. Okay. We will let you know as soon as we know, but historically they've been about $500. RV costs are higher. If you have an RV, their costs are more because you get more. Your RV will be powered. Your RV will be drained of brown water and black water. Your RV will be filled with water. So those costs, to be honest, is relatively break even for us on the RVs. But to be honest, it's thousands of dollars. It is expensive. So just a heads up there, and it could be more this year because again, they're figuring out all the vendors right now, and like with gas costs and things, we just don't know. So just factor this into your equation. Other thing you should be factoring in, personal expenses, container service, that's getting your stuff to Playa and getting it back. We run New York City's container service. There's about $50 per yellow top bin. Again, I don't know, that's historically what it's been. It could be a little bit different this year based on gas prices. We just don't know. Travel, obviously your flights. Also, if you are taking the Burner Express to get in, which again, we'll explain a little bit later, but you should factor that in because it's a cost. And then you recommend airlift insurance.
Yeah, so just for anyone who hasn't been out there, the idea of getting injured on Playa really sucks. And if you do need to get airlifted, it's about $50,000 and $32,000. All right, so a lot. And most insurance does not cover it. So you can buy airlift insurance. I think it's like $40, and it basically covers you for the week in case you have any kind of emergency. If you break a bone, which I have done, it really is not pleasant. The hospital system out there and the volunteer doctors and nurses are wonderful, but if you're in incredible amount of pain, if you need some kind of emergency health service and need to be airlifted, you're not going to want to pay for that out of pocket.
So before I take questions, the last thing I'll say on this is if it ends up being $600, then please don't come to me and say, but you showed me 500. I'm like, I'm showing you this so you have a sense of magnitude of scale to figure out your planning for going to Burning Man. I don't exactly know what it's going to be. I know that the low end is going to be 500 because that's what it was previous years. It is likely to be more.
And it's also just, we want everyone to know that transparency is really important to us. And as soon as we have the information, we will of course pass it along to the camp.
Okay. Any questions any questions that you read about London?
Is the Burner Express? Okay, so is the Burner Express typically go out for like build too, or is it just for the actual burn dates?
I wouldn't know. I didn't do Burner Express.
Yeah, Burner Express starts Saturday. So if you do have a Burner Express ticket, you have the ability to get in on Saturday when Burning Man, I think, officially starts on Sunday. Burner Express is a way to bypass gate line, which is an incredible opportunity. So we highly recommend it.
I mean, if you're going and you're not going for build.
If you are going and not going for build.
But again, I go back to and honestly, if you're going for build, most of the time you can work out with other costume cultures that are going, and it's actually kind of awesome. Like we had an RV of 6 of us that ended up coming in. We weren't even staying in the same RV. We just carpooled together from Vegas, and it was a ton of fun.
Another way to also bypass the gate line.
Yeah.
And on the way back, we get our own bus.
On the way back, we get our own bus. Yes.
And coming in, we have gotten our own bus for the Saturday arrivals. So
Coming in, we have gotten our own bus for Saturday arrivals.
More to come on that.
Yeah. Any other questions? Mars?
The RV cost, whatever the extra would have been, is it per person, or is it like you have an RV, there's 3 people in it, there's 4 people in it, there's 3, whatever.
By RV.
By RV. The cost for the RVs are by RV, not by person.
But you still have 500 plus whatever divvies out between.
Correct. RV costs are in addition to your personal camp dues. Yes.
the electric is so much.
Yes, and the electric is a lot more expensive. Yes. Anything else? Okay. Good. I definitely wanted that. Okay, so other things with calendar you should know. We put the Burning Man calendar on there. Again, if you're planning your timetable. The Monday build starts on the 22nd of August. We expect container to be around the 7th. Again, please don't quote me and saying that, oh, Ray, it wasn't on the 7th. I blocked out my calendar 5 months ahead of time. We think it's going to be around then. We have to work out the details on this specifically, but that's very, very likely. Monday build is the 22nd. Wednesday build is the 24th. We usually do these effectively groups on the three days. Wednesday is the 24th, and Friday build crew is on the 26th. You can choose to come any of them. We'll tell you more about Build Week in a future meeting, but we really, really do highly recommend Build Week. It's actually, a lot of people say, including myself, that it's the best part. There you go, yes, very passionately. Burner Express is the 27th and the 28th. Burn Week goes through the 4th. breakdown is Monday, the 5th. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, so as you're planning your travel, please keep this in mind. Also, recognize that if, planning your flight, you're gonna see that the flights are substantially higher for the people who just come in for the burn, substantially higher. Coming in and giving yourself the padding of helping camp build and break down is also gonna benefit you because the flights are much cheaper.
Leaving Wednesday or Thursday, you'll save a couple $100.
For sure.
Wednesday,
Save as
Thursday.
much as the beginning of the-
Yeah. All right, so the last section here we're gonna talk about is teams. So this is how, so we gave as much philosophy as we can here. We wanna switch more into now, how can you get involved? So the way we're gonna do this is, again, in every email that we've sent out, we put the Slack. This is a different QR code. It's not the same one you've already done. If you're not already on the Slack, you should use this code now to get the link to go on the Slack. This is how we communicate. We did this by popular demand. We've tried a lot of things. We've tried email. We've tried Facebook Messenger. We've tried all kinds of things. We tried Slack on Loveburn and people loved it and we got into it. And I get it. It's another messaging platform and you hate the fact that you have to have another messaging platform, but it works. So this is what we're going to communicate on. Again, it's in every email that we send out at the bottom. If you don't have that, just look at the latest email. The link does expire, unfortunately. So you do need the latest email to use the link. And then you will see all of our channels in there. There's a channel for each team. We're going to go through what each team is. And whatever team you want to know about, be involved with, get contacted from, engage with, just go in their channel and say, hello, hi. That's it. So even right now, like while we're telling you about the teams, if you're really passionately hearing something from one of the people on the teams that telling you about it, and you're like, I would love to learn more about Frontage, then just say hello in the Frontage group and they'll know that you're interested. Okay. So I will bring this up later if you missed it, but we're going to tell you about all these teams: operations, DPW, Frontage, Akkulturation, and KK International, Costume Tent Kitchen, pop-up events, music curation / lighting, and camp relations. Okay, so I'll start with operations since I probably do most with this stuff. This is kind of like the organizational umbrella that helps to put the meetings like this together, that helps to coordinate the different teams, that gets the word out, that puts the calendar together. You can think of it kind of like the project management team. We kind of like keep everything organized, and we are also the ambassadors between KK and the Burning Man organization, getting all the notifications from them, understanding it, figuring out what to do with it. If you are a person that likes to do any kind of project management, organization, spreadsheets, or just generally kind of like figuring out how lots of puzzle pieces fit together and making it all work, this is a really great team. You learn a lot.
Also a great opportunity for people who are not local.
Yes, absolutely. Because we can do all this stuff remotely. So that's why you have remote opportunity. I did not do that. I did not do that. I touched the buttons.
Oh, no.
Okay, that's strange.
All right, okay.
Okay.
All right. Next, we have KKDPW. So you might be asking yourself, what the fuck is DPW? DPW means Department of Public Works, and it is a critical part of building Black Rock City. So we have a Kostume Kult DPW that basically helps build the infrastructure of camp. It is an absolutely critical piece of what we do, and the purpose of the team is basically you're in charge of all the build and breakdown, right? You are general managing all of the pieces that go into creating KK. So you get to have your hands on all of the tools. You act as a quartermaster, which, in case there's any people who don't know that term, that's sort of a system of checking in and checking out tools to make sure that we have everything we need and nothing goes missing. And all of the infrastructure needs, including how we build the evaporation pond, how we build the shade structure, how we build everything. And actually, here is one of our very best
engineer extraordinaire.
Yes,
like,
Max.
So I need to better. I know a lot of people who know how to build things. I don't think I know anybody who has a broader diversity of things that they know how to do or build or fix or whatever than Max does. The knowledge of this man is just like super impressive. So Max can teach you about doing any of this stuff, but I'll let Max tell you about what this team does.
Well, you may have heard me yell in the back when I said it's really great to come out for Build Week, and I seconded that.
Oh yeah, the other these mics. Go ahead.
Okay. It is my favorite part of the burn too, and so anyone who can spend that extra week or part of the week to come out and help be part of Build, I think you'll be rewarded by the experience. Yeah, but as you outlined, part of the things we do are supply electricity to everyone's tents and to power the frontage, to make the lights run, to make our sound system run. So we deploy our own electric grid. We have a generator that we set up on Playa, and we carry heavy cables around camp, and we give everyone a place to plug in. We get the water system working so that everyone can fill up their shower bags and their hydration packs and the kitchen, set up the kitchen. Whether or not you've ever done anything, done any construction work, done electrical work, done any plumbing work, if you're of any interest at all, this is your opportunity to get your hands dirty and try something new. And I've never laid out a power grid before I came on camp, but I raised my hand and I said, I think I could do that. And I did it. And it was great fun. And so I encourage anyone.
The people will be out of the hospital soon.
We'll be very creative.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Max.
My pleasure.
Awesome. Yes. Really, really critical piece. This, I'll put this on here.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tanya, and hi. I paid them. I paid them all. So Frontage, we've had this whole conversation about what it is, but I want to really stress that for Burning Man, even though Kostume Kult brings different kinds of frontage to every event, and all of them have all the love and all the magic that we as individuals provide for it, for Burning Man, we want to really focus on New York City magic on Playa. We want to make sure that whoever sees it is like, oh, they're from New York. Okay? And these are examples of amazing things like our K-train, and I couldn't find a picture of the King Kong embracing the Empire State Building, but that was a year that I was not involved, but it was amazing. So we are going to be brainstorming a lot of ideas. And I need to click. I am pressing the big one. I know the big one. Okay. So what is it that we want from Frontage? We always want an interactive experience, especially for the catwalkers. As you know, that is our main thing, the runway. So a place to explore new materials and construction techniques. We want to try different things every year, just like with DPW. It's all about being creative. It's all about what can survive a desert, what can we do cheaply, and what can we do easily. So we have a spot open and accessible for all the communal creativity in this group and beyond. And we also want to be seen from space.
No doubt. Oh.
Thank you. So who do we want? We want everybody. We want novices. We want experts. Our vision with Frontage is that there is a place for everyone. You don't need to know anything. You just need to come with the right wanting. You want to explore, you want to see, you want to do something. If you're creative, you're welcome. If you've never created anything in your life and all you know how to do is plug numbers into a spreadsheet, I got a spot for you. Okay, so everybody, any skills are welcome, both in DPW and in Frontage. We can use everyone. Because we are all Frontage, okay? Every single one of you is officially a Frontage team member. You don't have to join Frontage team to participate in Frontage, to come to our builds, to do our, like work with us and play with us. you can actually be in acculturation. And then one day you're like, oh, let me go paint an eye, like London. Or you can, there's so many other things that you can help with because we're all gears in the same machine. And every gear helps each other. Okay, thank you.
Putting this another way, like so we're trying to maybe explain that a bit more tactically too. Like we will have build days, we will have crafting days, we will have days that we go out to. We have this amazing space in New Jersey that we used for Love Burn, and hopefully Elizabeth will let us use that space again for doing a lot of our builds on our frontage. By the way, you'll get to use like some amazing equipment, some amazing like techniques. Like I learned a lot just from going out there, seeing what people were doing and their build approaches. But you don't need to join the frontage team to do that stuff. They will put out notifications every time there's one of those things going on, and you could say, "Oh, I just feel like going this weekend. I would like to be part of this," and you'll be able to be part of that, even if your passion is somewhere else. So, in other words, you should, for your main team, pick where your passion is, like what you want to be involved in the entire ideation process around, the entire building process. You want to own it. If you want to dip in, you can still do that, not even just frontage, but with any of the teams, pre-burn. Sense? Okay. Okay. Acculturation. I'll give it
Thank you. Hey, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Gene, not to be confused with Gene, or if you know him, not to be confused with other Gene. So I want to touch on some philosophical notions and also some practical notions. I started going to Burning Man 5 years ago in 2017. I didn't know a fucking thing. And in the ensuing 5 years, I've built some of the strongest and most incredible relationships that I'll ever build, gotten the opportunity to make incredible art. It's a cliche, but going to Burning Man changed my life. And so I'm particularly passionate about this topic. What I want to help us build here this year is a space where everyone has access to that, where like people, any creativity that they want to express, any sense of like connecting to their deepest and truest self and expressing that, they have access to that, and there's a safe space where they can learn how to do that and engage with that. On a practical side, we're doing a few things. We want to start building a relationship with everyone who wants to camp with us, understand what they're interested in, what they're excited about, what their skills are, what their personality is, how they respond to things. We also want to start hosting some events in New York to give people a chance to connect with one another. That can look like going to the garment district and like costuming together, getting supplies together, where experienced burners can teach less experienced burners, that kind of stuff. That can be like LED art days, just opportunities for people to start connecting and building bonds with one another ahead of being on Playa. And we also want to start compiling a list of like resources for people who haven't been out there. It's a lot of information to take in. And so when I didn't know anything, I found it incredibly helpful to just have like lists of stuff that you probably want to bring, lists of stuff you don't want to bring, etc. So really excited to start doing that. If you are interested in vibe setting, if you're interested in building relationships with people, if you're interested in understanding like what contributes to the social fabric of a thing, would love to have you on the team. Please reach out to me directly. Hell yeah. Me, not other Gene or other Gene.
Also, just for consistency too, go on the Slack group, go to the Akkulturation team and say, hello, I'm interested in this. In extra credit if you say why you're interested in it, but you don't even have to do that. Just say, hello, I don't know anything about this. I'm still interested, it's fine.
All right, so Kostume Kult International is another part of Akkulturation, and Tiago is online, and you may be talking to him right now, but I'm going to read some information from the slide so people here can also hear it. So basically, KK International, KKIn, is an idea is a new team, and the idea is to really align our population around the world. So we have many different countries represented in our camp population. We have a huge group from Switzerland, we have a huge group from Germany, Israel. We have people literally from all over the world. And the idea is that we want to create a space we want to create a space where everyone can feel equally involved. Like we were saying earlier, the level playing field thing is a real thing. And we want to make sure that people, no matter where they're from,
Is that my fault?
no matter where they're from, can feel equally engaged. So Tio put together a little video that we're going to play.
Okay, I don't know. I think that the sound should go over that.
The world. 7 continents, 7 wonders, a multitude of languages, many costumes, and a myriad of crazy dreams. In the middle of all this, we at KK attracted and these folks had absolutely this one thing in common. We love to burn. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to KKIn, KK International.
Thank you, Tiago.
So there will be a channel on Slack for the international crew. We encourage everyone to get involved. We really do want everyone to get to know each other. The goal of this year's burn, my personal goal, and hopefully all of your goal, is to get to know the name and face of every single person, and that includes the people that are not local to New York City.
Okay, I don't know if I have Tiago. I'm wondering if I could actually show Tiago live, but it doesn't want me to. So
sorry, Tiago.
We're still working on it. We're trying. I promise. It was better than last time.
Can you hear me though?
Okay, costume 10. Julia.
And Scott.
And Scott, yes.
Where's Scott?
They're both here. We need to give them both these.
Hi, everybody. I'm Scott.
I'm Julia. Nice to meet you.
And we're Schoolia. Just kidding. Just kidding. That's not a thing. Please don't make that a thing.
It might be too late now, Scott. It might be too late.
All right. So we're here to talk about the costume tent. The costume tent is our bread and butter. It's literally in our name. As Julia mentioned during our first meeting, we're gifting more than just a physical costume. We're providing an experience. And this experience starts long before you come inside the tent. If you see this line of people, this is people waiting to get inside the tent. Look at all the excitement and anticipation people have to come inside of our tent. And this is why I love to volunteer on that very first opening day, to see all these smiling and happy faces waiting to come inside. That is exhilarating for me. And we're just very happy to welcome them inside. So once you get to the front of the line, you'll be welcomed by a costume tent greeter who will give a lay of the land of what to expect inside the tent. The costumes are set up, in similar type fashion, in different racks like you'd at a regular store. And around the perimeter of the tent, you'll have smaller accessories such as hats, sunglasses, shoes, and our newest addition, the Every Kiss Begins with KK jewelry section. Now, if you're at Love Burn, that was a huge hit, and we're very excited to bring it to the Burn. So inside the tent, you'll be able to volunteer as someone who'll be able to assist someone to put their unique experience together, a costume concierge, if you will. And you'll remind everybody that when you're in the tent, anything that you pick out, you have to wear out. So once someone comes up with their unique outfit and they're all decked out, they'll be able to exit onto our fashion runway where they'll be announced by our MCs, and they'll get the opportunity to walk out onto the stage in front of everybody waiting in line, everyone passing by. This is very exciting for a lot of people because they may have never had this opportunity before to be in front of all these people, and we're very excited for them. So how can you participate in the costume tent? Well, I mentioned you could be a greeter. You can work inside the tent as a volunteer to help people come their costumes together. You could be a wrangler. And what a wrangler is, you're outside on frontage. You're interacting with everybody who is walking by. You're trying to encourage them to come inside the tent. It's a lot of fun. You can have a lot of fun with them. It's a great way to meet people. And you could also be an MC. And I'm going to call Jungle up here to talk about what an MC is.
You know, I'm sorry I'm a lawyer today, but I think I'm going to become an MC. So hold this for a second.
Give the microphone on. When you do this at 70, it's a real challenge. Okay. So
Live costuming, everyone. Live costuming.
And
As a highly respected attorney.
I got to hide here too.
Yeah, okay. Okay, hopefully I've got the pants on the right way. Okay. What do? We do transformation. We take what people walk around with on an everyday basis and we change them into their real person. We take off their outer costumes and give them the world's stupidest stuff to walk on a runway. And the runway is not a fashion show. It's the place where they transform. They've gone inside, a costume calls to them, Jim, put me on your naked body. And Jim puts it on, and he goes from an HR person to a fucking maniac. And you walk down that runway, and the MC is helping getting people walking by. And the people walking by see the frontage. They hear the noise. They see this magic. And they go, whoa. The people on the line who are waiting there for 45 minutes in 105 temperature are being entertained. And the people walking outside experience the real them. And what you're doing as an MC is you're helping make that magic happen. Love you all. Can't wait to see you.
So a couple more things. If you're part of the costume tent team, there is some activities that you would be able to participate in during build. So you'd help put together the racks. You load the costumes onto hangers to make it. We want a full tent when we open up on opening day. And then during each day, you would help restock it. So every day we come into a brand new tent with all new costumes. And then as much as we would love to give out all our costumes, we'll probably have to pack up some at the end of the week. So we'll also need some assistance breaking down, taking the racks down, taking the hangers down, and packing up and getting ready for storage. So these are all the activities you'd be able to participate while on Playa. But what can you do to participate before we get there? Take it away.
Yes. How does all this magic happen on Playa? So there's a couple different ways that we prepare to do all of this at the Burn. And as Ray said and Tanya said, at the Burn, everyone participates in the costume tent. We all help to build it. Almost everyone will do a shift at some point in the costume tent. If you're really excited, maybe you want to lead a day. But there's a lot of work that also happens before that. Okay, great. So as you can see here, starting from the top, actually, the first project is getting costumes. So you all probably wonder, where do all these costumes come from? There is a person or a team that does that. So if you love making cold calls, or you love walking around to cool stores in New York City who might have extra costumes or vintage clothing, these are all the different kinds of projects for costume acquisition. And this could even be a project for someone not in New York City. who wants to, outreach on the phone or emailing, things like that. So ways to engage if you're not in New York as well. Also, that includes going to burner events where other people might want to bring costumes to donate. Maybe they've loved that costume enough and they want to move it. And they want to give that costume a new life with someone else. So that's costume acquisition. Then we have demooping and sorting, which you can see the lovely Pat Brown is doing here. This is our storage container out in New Jersey. And we have tons of costumes that we have in storage there. So we want to go through those, sort them, make sure everything that we have there, we love, it brings us joy, as Marie Kondo would say. We want to bring it to Playa to give joy to someone else. We also want to demoop everything. So if you're not familiar with that term, that means getting rid of all the trash or the packaging, the tags that are around the costume, so that what we're bringing is only the actual costume itself. And that's something that many people can participate in. That'll happen on usually Saturdays or for a weekend project. So maybe you're not able to join calls during the week, but you really want to give a lot of time on the weekends. That's a great way to engage in the build, the prep for the burn. Then we have the planning of the costume experience. So all the things that Scott just mentioned, maybe you're really excited and have a vision for a new way we might merchandise the tent or organize all the costumes inside the tent, or a new idea about the experience of people transforming on the runway, as Jungle said, or you want to be part of the MC team. This all falls into planning for the actual costume experience itself. And then lastly, we have creating the On Playa team. So as I mentioned, many people will be on that team when they're there, but we have to put together all the volunteers, make sure they have the materials they need so they know what to do. We always have sashes for the volunteers on Playa. So just doing all the things to make sure that when people get there, they can jump in and volunteer for their shift on Playa. So those are all the different things we're doing to prepare to be running the costume tent on Playa. So what kind of people should join the costume tent or the costume team? I think we have one more slide for this. Yeah, perfect. So as I already mentioned, maybe you love Marie Kondo. You've read all her books, you've watched the shows, you love to organize and sort things. That's one kind of person. Maybe you love to play Tetris and you're really good at figuring out how to store things in our container. Maybe you're really passionate about costumes. You love fashion. You want to engage and work with your hands and look at all the amazing content and all the amazing costumes we have. Maybe you want to explore the costuming community in New York City and network and get to meet other costume organizations, stores, things like that. Maybe you love spreadsheets and you want to organize those kinds of networks and things like that. Or maybe you just want to be excited and be part of one of the core missions of Kostume Kult. So there's room for everyone on the costume team. Join the costume Slack channel. If you're interested, say hello, and we will follow up with you. Thank you.
Yeah.
This here. Okay. We're round in the corner here. Okay, so this is like a phantom. It was you. Okay, kitchen. Okay. Who's doing kitchen? Are we doing kitchen?
Yeah, we can do kitchen.
Okay.
All right. Kitchen is the heart and soul of the camp, right? So what is the purpose of the kitchen? The purpose of the kitchen is to keep all of us alive, to feed hungry burners, right? So
I'm happy.
Yes, to keep us alive and to keep us happy. So what does the kitchen do? The kitchen preps ahead of time by coming up with menus that accommodate all the dietary restrictions or to the best of our ability of camp. So it's the prep work for this is really figuring out how to accommodate people, coming up with different menu items, cook days, gatherings with fellow kitchen members. It ends up being a really wonderful collaborative experience. And then once you are on Playa, your job is to basically protect the sanctity of the kitchen. The kitchen is a sacred space, right? We want to keep it holy.
And it is actually certified.
It is certified by the Nevada Board of Health. It is inspected. It has actual functioning appliances in it. It has everything that you need to have a fully industrial kitchen. And it has air conditioning and it has unlimited champagne.
Well, just so long as dinner gets done.
Yeah. So responsibilities first, champagne second. So who's good for this team? If food is your love language, this is where you belong. If you want to be in the shade when everyone else is in the hot sun, this is where you belong. If you are good working with other people and figuring things out on the fly, maybe somebody used all of your rice and you don't know what to do the next day. You figure that shit out and you do it with a smile. It's fine. If you are a team player, collaborative, all right. And then why is this awesome? It's awesome because everyone loves you. Everyone loves who feeds them. And again, we will bribe you with champagne.
Yeah, and as far as the prep goes, I was on the kitchen team last year. I mean, switch this because it's gonna.
Yeah.
I was on the kitchen team last year, and you know, it's a lot of fun actually getting ready for this because you get to like to be honest, like most of the time the people obviously that the kitchen team attracts tend to be food people. So usually at our meetings we generally like had a barbecue or we had the dinner or we had food or anything. So it's kind of like coming together around like breaking bread around and figuring out what's our menu going to be, what's going to make people happy, how are we going to prepare this stuff, like what are the how do we want to structure this that's gonna work and like enable us to have the best experience, put together the best kitchen when we get there. So you know you can still sign up for a kitchen shift on Playa. Again, that's completely separate. You do not need to be on the kitchen team to do that. But if food is your love language and you really like to plan the whole thing out, this is really great. And we have, by the way, suppliers that actually supply us food on Playa every year. So produce, meats, fish. We get regular deliveries throughout the burn and build actually. Okay.
All right, and then Pop-Up Events is a new team that debuted at Love Burn, led by Jack Santiago, who you're going to see a video from shortly. And so something about KK at Burning Man, obviously we are predominantly daytime camp. Our gift is the costume experience that runs during the day, and we are known far and wide for it. The one nighttime event that we do have that's well known and loved is something called the Brooklyn Block Party. It happens on Wednesday night, and it is basically the place where every New Yorker on Playa will come. We will play 90s hip hop. We have the Fire Conclave come and perform on our frontage. All the New York art cars come by, and it's a blast. It's an absolute blast. So that has historically been our nighttime experience. But if Love Burn is a testament to what we could do in the future, the world is ours, right? So we have the opportunity to make Kostume Kult a destination, a stage for other camps to really, perform their own art or to give back in a different way. So at Love Burn, we had a drag show, we had a burlesque show, and we had probably 500, maybe more people come by KK just to check it out. It was sexy, it was fun, it was like a whole new world, right? And this was all brought to KK by a virgin burner who had never been to anything before, who by the way is also international. So it is a great opportunity for people who are remote, for people who have the desire to come up with different ideas and events and to engage the community. And the options are endless.
The only other thing I'd say there is that we also have parties that we plan here in New York, the Hornball, the Black and Light Ball, and Freak Show. And if you want to be involved in those and helping to plan those, and they're obviously like more recent, awesome, thank you, London. I had a feeling you might want to be involved. Then that will be an opportunity that will be a lot more sooner than this. This is really planning for these parties at the burn or these events at the burn, but both are equally needed.
Yeah, so we have a quick video that Jack's put together, and then Jim will tell us a little bit about the upcoming events in New York.
We're going to
Hey everybody, my name is Jack Santiago. I was the Dom for Camp Relations at Love Burn, and I'm also coming to you from the Dominican Republic, so I'm an international costume culter. We love international costume cultures. If you're interested, do not be discouraged. So just to tell you a little bit about what Camp Relations is, we're in charge really of building relationships with other camps, which sounds self-explanatory, but really we act as a liaison between these other camps and our pop-up committee in order to organize bigger events for these camps. Also, we do some promo and marketing leading up to the burn, and that might be on social media or through other venues. So really, we're in charge of connecting to other camps and combining our powers for general epicness. I know into the future we want to expand and do bigger, better, bastante sexier collaborations with other camps. And I know personally I'd like to see some more people of color representation. I'm already starting to connect with the Black Burner Project, so that's something that I love to see Camp Relations do. And then also really hope to bring a big old gay Latin drag number to whatever drag show we do with the Burn this year. So one thing that just really stands out, remember that Kostume Kult has a lot of gifts that we give our camp members and also our costumes, but one of the great gifts that we have is our stage. So Camp Relations really has an opportunity to give our stage to other camps who want to use it for whatever other performances. So this is the gift that we like to share. You might be good for Camp Relations if you adapt quickly, love making new relationships, and are interested in meeting people from other camps who are both seasoned veterans and newbie noobs like me. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you. Ciao.
Mute here, and we'll put that back on. Thank you very much, Jax.
Yeah,
Should
also
probably be on the line.
I just can't emphasize enough how amazing it is to see an international virgin take on this role and do such an incredible job with it. It really is such a testament that it really is a level playing field, and if you have the desire, you can really do anything. So I know Jim wanted to talk quickly about the events, upcoming events in New York.
Absolutely.
Mike's me.
Is that the good mic or the bad mic? I'm not sure. We'll switch it if it's not. I got it. Sorry.
That had a team.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as it was said earlier, costume is in our name, but cult or culture is in our name as well. And we are a major part of burner culture out at Burning Man, but we are a part of a much bigger thing there. But here in New York, we really bring the 10 principles to the world like no other camp in the world. And we do it by demonstrating costuming, but also just the awesome burner vibe. When people find us, see us, come to our parties, so many times I hear, I've been looking for you people all my life. So right now, please think on, save all of these dates because we're about to start rolling out some mad awesome. Saturday, April 23rd, Hornball. It's Hornball motherfucking 18. And I believe it's the greatest party in the history of New York history, not just because it's super fun, but because of the engagement of the people who come. So put that on your calendar. Come in if you're international. A lot of people do fly in for that one. Saturday, May 21st, the Black and Light Ball. We have a for that. We switch from my geekier theme to a chikier theme. Black light, light art, et cetera. That's super fun. And then the third of the camp fundraisers is Freak Show, the end of July, July 30th. So that is our freak party, geek, chic, and freak, and get involved. And really, when you think about, what is Kostume Kult, everybody's here because of the camp. And in the past, it's been weird. Like we look at the end after it's all over and see how many people who camp with us actually came to our events. And it wasn't everybody. We were surprised. I think at this point, the look on your faces, I pretty much expect everybody to be there or doing what they can. And we do need help. So we are looking for project managers for Hornball. Gene is probably a co-producer, but he's got a ton of other things on his plate. So real project managers, producer for Hornball would be great. And then the other events will come as they do. And then one thing we need every single person in here to do for every event is help us promote. We are selling tickets. Some of these venues are going to be pretty big. Wait till you hear what's coming. And especially for people under a certain age, i.e. the non-Facebook generation, we need help getting it out to the next generation of party maniac that hasn't found us yet. So that's our fundraisers, and our fundraisers are in intrinsic part of our camp because of the reason that our dues are only $500 to $600 is because of the fundraisers. So please participate in them. And if you can't make it, just buy a ticket because that is part of the reason why we're not charging $1,000 per person, which we really should for all of this. And then beyond the events, the fundraiser events, which are in venues, we have Figment at the beginning of June. Well, Dance Parade is May 21st. That's actually the same day as Black and Light Ball, so get some sleep that week. Figment is the beginning of June. This year it's moving to Staten Island, so that's a unique situation. Mermaid Parade is, I think, the third weekend in June, and June 18th. And we've just made great friends with the brand new leader of Mermaid Parade, and there may or may not be a partnership and freak show coming. So just know we have to kill it at Mermaid Parade, and then the burn, and then there's a lot of things after that. But really, if you're here for the camp, you're missing out if you're not here for the whole Megillah, because it really is a lifestyle change.
Thank you. Does this work? No, it doesn't work. Okay.
Yeah, so as Jim was saying, like the events are really kind of an opportunity for you to just get to know each other as well, right? Like building everything for the camp is amazing, but putting together decor for the events is so fun, and you get a chance to build relationships with people, collaborate, be thought partners. It really is a blast.
Okay, so that's, I think, all the teams. Let's make sure I didn't miss anything working on this late at night. Okay, oh, music curation. We didn't have any slides for music curation.
Yes, music curation and lighting.
Mic up here.
You got it.
I think I've done this before.
Okay.
Hey everyone, I'm Gene Harrison. I'm not to be confused with the other Gene. There's actually a few of us, which is weird, but here we are. I'm head of the events committee for Kostume Kult. I have produced a bunch of the parties you may or may not have been to. Of course, we have Hornball coming up on 4/23 and Black and Light Ball on 5/21. Both are going to be amazing. You know, a lot of our parties, the vibe is everything. And I say that a lot, but I really, really mean that. Everything we do, from our flyer, which is the first thing that people see, to the DJ lineup, to the decor, which Tanya is always amazing with. Everything contributes to that vibe that when you walk into Kostume Kult party, you know what you're going to get. You know you're going to get a party filled with burners. You know you're going to get great music. You know you're going to get great decor. You know you're going to get that feeling that you don't get at every other party that you've been to in New York. And there's a reason for that. Then that reason is you. That reason is everybody who puts everything that they put into it culminates into this party, this 8 hours of awesome. So part of that is, of course, music and lighting and tech, which of course, which I'm in charge of and I head up. So music curation and music tech and lighting tech. You know, if you're a dork, if you were in lighting crew in high school, if you like doing the dorky stuff, if you like handling cables, if you're comfortable with speakers, if you're comfortable with amps and making sure that everything's working, we need you. We need you to step up and be part of the technical team, which is music and lighting. It should really be music and lighting. It's not just music, it's lighting, it's cabling. It's all the things, all the dorky technical stuff that you get to be part of and make things happen that nobody cares about until it goes wrong. At which point, you know, it becomes a thing. So a lot of being in the technical team like that, you know, it's getting everything set up, making sure everything's working properly. And then once it's set up, if you're lucky, you get to do nothing as long as everything's working great. And then if something happens, then you got to jump on it. And, you know, that's life in the city. But that's being part of the tech team that makes all this happen. And it's a very crucial, vital part, especially at Burning Man, and especially with the level of production that we do. So if you're one of those people, come find me after this meeting.
Say hi in the Slack channel.
Say hi in the Slack channel. Music curation, Slack channel. We're going to probably change that to music and technical. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you.
I will say, I got a chance to play around with, we had a lot of lighting equipment, like DMX lighting, like stage lighting, got a chance to play around with for Love Burn. It was a ton of fun. So if it's something you've been interested in learning and trying and see how it all works, like, great team. Okay, so the big takeaway you should be having from all this is all the content we had for you. The big end of the road takeaway is we keep saying like participate. This is how. All these teams are the way that you participate. The next meeting is not going to be us standing in front of a room. The next meeting is actually going to be remote. But the next meeting, we're going to give you some updates and just some like general things and keep it like super short, or as short as we can be. And then we're going to start breakout rooms in Zoom. And each of those breakout rooms are going to have these teams. And hopefully you'll have already been talking to your team to know what's going on. And then you're just kind of like getting together in person with those, or not in person, remotely with those teams to talk about these things. You can jump around to different Zoom rooms or whatever you need to. We tried this on Love Burn. It worked out great. It was particularly needed on Love Burn, honestly, because we couldn't all get together because there was another COVID surge at the time. So we really needed to do it, and it worked out really great. So this is fantastic. Again, I'll just go to the last QR code one more time. I'll leave that up on the screen. So make sure that you get onto the Slack, please. Get onto the Facebook calendar, get onto the group, fill out the interested camper form if you haven't already filled it out. It's the only way we know you exist. I don't care if you've been camping with us for 10 years or your gym. You exist because of the interested camper form. I guess we'll leave it with, did we not answer any of your big burning questions? No pun intended. No? Or small ones. Yeah. All right.
Well, right now, honestly, talk to people, get to know people.
Socialize.
This is your community moment. These are the people that you're going to be burning with, in a couple of months. So get to know who's around you. Get to know the team leads that spoke. You're going to be really happy to meet new friends and to kind of like start this journey all together. So thank you so much.
I would just like to add that Solas, the venue that we are in right now, is doing us a huge favor by letting us have these meetings here. Part of Burning Man is, of course, leaving no trace, which is one of the 10 principles. So we like to ask everyone to bring down their glasses down to the downstairs bar as they're making their
When you go
downstairs.
down, you don't have to go down right now.
It doesn't have to be right now, just, at the end of it, that'd be appreciated. Thank you.
When you go down, fix things up. Again, remember we said, how can I help? That's how you can help.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you everyone on the call. Let me stop sharing so I can actually see who's on.